Okay, so here's the update for the new scene, the new UI scene, main menu scene for the UI. Again, I took the sketch that you sent me, and what I did was overlaid it on top of the scene, and I basically had to create the entire scene from scratch. And of course, this is a 2D sketch, and the scene is 3D, such as in Major Mayhem and the other game that you liked. So I had to like move around some objects to try to match the, I guess, the perspective. So I'm gonna show you. This is the actual sketch, and I also tried to match the positioning as much as I could. And this is the new scene. So I tried to keep like the most important elements that you drew. Like in this case, you had this like rounded city on the background. So I turned that into this like little planet, so that you can see, it's same sort of style as a Little Big Planet and those games that they work on tiny planets. I think it looks kind of neat, especially for this type of games. So now that the you know the this sphere thing, the level is a sphere, then I had to match the positioning of the characters roughly to match your draw. So here is it. Obviously, because these guys are drawn in 2D, just flat, they wouldn't match the perspective. So I positioned them as closely as I could. Same with these X barriers, and the only thing that I really changed place was the positioning of the soldiers and the tank, just because I couldn't have enough space here, and based on the the shape, you would be looking at them from completely top down view angle. So I'm going to show you. That's why I put them here, but I'm going to move the, let's say, the tank here to the position, right? So he will move, you know, around the globe. And let's say if we put them here where you have them in the drawing, then as I mentioned, you will see completely top-down view, which doesn't look bad, but I just want to show you beforehand. So this is what we're working with, and I left this space to the left. I'm sorry, to the right for the Aliens versus Zombies logo, which I don't have yet because I want to make sure you like this design, or if you want to change it, then we'll modify this scene. And then once this scene is green lit, so to speak, I will move on to the UI elements. Um, so yeah, I'm going to show you the maximize view. One second, I'll play it again. All right, so scene starts. I also have some nice lighting here. The characters are animating. I did some baking for the shadows and the materials here so that it doesn't look as dark, because that was one of the pointers that you gave me that time. So it doesn't look as dark anymore. I would say it's maybe too bright for what it is. But I think it looks good. Of course, we can animate the characters and all that. That's not an issue. And what else? Oh yeah, I wanted to show you one last thing here. The main menu. So I was thinking it looks good with this kind of overlaid vignette. I know you didn't like it like too dark, so we can adjust this. Since the focus here are obviously the characters and the blurry city on the background, um, And if I add this vignette maybe at 60% opacity is of 50% opacity, I think it looks good. I wouldn't go like 100% because all this right part is completely invisible. But, something along the lines of this transparency would be good so that we can actually make the buttons here for play, options, and store pop way more. And that's because that's also a very important part of the UI, right? And being able to um, guide the player to whatever you want them to click. And before, since we had this 3D objects, the billboards, they were not as intuitive. So I think I'm gonna try to make this UI buttons like the vampire game that you sent, and just have them as overlaid uh, flat um, sprites instead of the 3D model because all the 3D elements are already here and they're um, taking some of the attention from the player. So yeah, this is what we have so far. I hope you like this version. If not, I can try to make something different. And yeah, so keep me posted. And if you approve, then I can move on to the actual sprites because right now I'm gonna show you the menu still works. It's just we need to change the sprites and stuff. So right now I have this invisible buttons, right? So main menu. Obviously, I haven't changed these ones yet, and the new ones will match the this similar style, maybe like the vampire game that you liked. Um, but yeah, the next step, if you approve, is gonna be to work on these UI elements to make it more like cartoony, I guess. So yeah, and what do you think?